Right, welcome back. Yes, we are on right now. Of course, it's a leadership forum, and as I mentioned earlier, you can get to drive a show with me. You can hit us on Twitter. amlive NTV is a Twitter handle. amlive NTV is a profile name on Facebook, and 20505 is our SMS portal. Also, our numbers will be up momentarily for you to call in, ask your questions, or share your contribution. Allow me now to introduce my guest this morning, leading cartoonists in this country, who have made you laugh, who have made you cry, who have made you reflect, and they're here this morning. So it's good to know the faces behind the cartoons. And allow me to introduce Samuel Muigai, popularly known as Iga. He's a cartoonist with the Daily Nation and also with Taifa Leo. And also we have James Kamawira, popularly known as Cam, cartoonist with the Standard Limited, and the chairman of KATUNI, right, East African. Also, we have Celestine Wamiru, popularly known as Celeste, right, cartoonist at the People's Daily. And we have Victor Ndula, right, a cartoonist with the Star. Gentlemen and lady, good morning.
Good morning.
Fun people, yeah. When I see you guys, so you're already drawing me. I don't know how it will be for me tomorrow, or maybe if I have a caricature, how I look, right? But thank you for joining us on AM Live this morning. We really appreciate your work, what you do, and of course, Kenyans should know, right, who are these faces behind these cartoons. And we want to begin this discussion. We will look at some of the works that you've done before and some of the reactions that you've solicited, maybe from the public, and the way you're shaping also the views of Kenyans when it comes to cartoons. Some are very contentious. They've brought you to so much problems, and I don't know how you've wiggled out of them, but you will tell us this morning. But thank you for joining us. All right, let's begin by talking about editorial cartoon. When we talk about editorial cartoon, what do we mean? Let's begin with the chairman, Cam, editorial cartoonist. You're the chairman of KATUNI East African. First of all, tell us what about this particular organization is all about, and then we discuss about editorial cartoon.
Yeah, I'm the chairman of KATUNI. It's the East African Cartoonists Society.
Yes.
It has been there for some years, but not very active.
Yes.
But for the last 2 years, we've been quite active. We've even celebrated some of our mentors.
Yes.
In the industry. People like Terry Hurst, who died quite recently.
Yes.
Frank Odoi, who passed away about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And Gitau, who does the Juha Kalulu comic strip.
Yes.
In the Taifa Leo. Actually, it's been the oldest. It's been running for almost 40 years. So, as an association, we've now gotten together. Now we are streamlining things so that we can start having even bigger things.
All right.
Now about editorial cartoons. Editorial cartoons are our personal interpretation of politics or society issues in the community, but using art. Which is now different from the written word. In most cases, what we do is we portray something, what may be happening in society or in the political arena, and then leave it actually for people to decipher. But at the same time, we do it with a light touch, and so that we can just to interest the reader, because art is a very powerful tool when it comes to communication. So we do it in a humorous way, and that's why most people call it satire or something like that, because we do it with a twist. Either it may be funny, or we may twist it in a different way to make it more interesting, and that's the way we look. That's the way we look at society and even the political scene.
Right. So let's come to you. Celestine, you're the only lady in this industry, as we know right now, right? Such a bold step. And of course, now you've occupied a very huge space, of course, when it comes to editorial cartoons. When did you begin? When did it start for you? When did you discover that, yes, you can actually break the men's domain?
Actually, I didn't grow up knowing I'd end up as a cartoonist, but one thing I knew is that I was an artist, I could draw, and I wanted to do something with my life with that talent. So all through from my schooling days in high school and later on college, I studied art. And despite all the pressure to, take the mainstream courses, that probably eventually would lead to the regular jobs, I really pushed for following my dream in art. So eventually I got into the newspaper editorial cartoons not very long ago in 2011. But before that, I practiced as an illustrator doing children's books, all these illustrations you see in textbooks. We are the ones who draw. So I honed my skills through the years and eventually found myself in editorial cartooning, which I really love.
Which you really love.
Yes.
Good thing to be passionate about what you do. Victor,
Yes.
Of course, you've been with the staff from the Go Getting.
Yeah.
And yes, we've been seeing some of your works, and you've won also so many awards. Tell us for you, when did it begin?
I think a cartoonist is more of who you are. So I say from inception, when I was born, it's more of your character. But working professionally, it's been an odd probably 15 years, 10 years. And it's been an interesting journey, just trying to capture events. I think we are part of guys who capture history. So all through that journey, an odd 10, 15 years, I've been doing this, drawing cartoons. I also know that, like Celeste, I'm an illustrator. I also do comics.
Yes.
And so all this, and I also worked in animation, so all these disciplines just probably helped me to become a better cartoonist, to draw better, to give my opinion every day, to understand current affairs. Yes, it's been a beautiful journey. Yes.
Right, Higa. To you also, when did the journey begin, and so far the challenges, the successes that you've seen so far in the industry, and looking at the space, especially the media freedom, how do you find it? Is it in any way encumbering you? Is it in any way making you sometimes, when you draw, you think like, no, this one I shouldn't put it on the paper because I'm afraid they'll come for me?
I started off by doing posters for NGOs.
All right.
I did that for for several years. And then along the way I met guys who were in the media already. Those are the guys now who mentored me and made me believe that I could actually do cartoons for newspapers. I joined Nation in the year 2004, and I've been here since then. Well, doing editorial cartoons is quite a challenge, but in ourselves, and the policies that media houses have, whereby some lines which you can't cross. Yeah, in yourself you have to be a gatekeeper. And they're the people that we report to, the opinion editors. They're the guys that we discuss the ideas we have with, and they tell you maybe this can't be. And then along the way you know what can be published and what can't.
All right.
Yeah, but so far I haven't gotten into problems with that.
No problems at all.
Yeah.
All right. So none of you have had any problems before. You've not been arraigned in court because of some very ticklish cartoon that was there, and somebody called and threatened you and said, "This one, I'll come for your neck next time if you do this." No threats so far. As in, we have such a free space.
I have had some threats myself.
You've had some threats
yeah,
before.
When I started, that was many years ago,
Yeah.
and people had not yet started appreciating cartoons the way it is, because that was in 1988. So I was working for the Kenya Times newspaper, which used to be owned by the ruling party, KANU. So at that particular time, there were actually people in the party who didn't like what I was doing, and some of them would actually call, even me personally, or sometimes they would call. Most of them would call the editor and complain. But one or two of them would actually call. It would actually land on my desk telephone, and somebody would, say quite some unsavory, make some unsavory comments, and even subtle threats. But it was really nothing. No harm came to me. and it was not usually something that was one-on-one. It was usually communicated through the editors.
All right.
Yeah, at that particular time, there are some people that we could not draw. They were very powerful people in the ruling party itself. At that particular time, during those days, you wouldn't tell, there was no line between government and ruling party. It was something very, very grey. So at that particular time, it was things were much different than they are today. But nothing really big or nothing really, no personal threat.
All right. Yeah. And it seems for you, actually, you are amongst the first people out of the gate to actually break into this field. We have newcomers like Celestine. I don't know how long she's been in the industry. Victor has been there for quite a long, as well as also Iga. But you, for you, Celestine, you've come to the industry when things have shaped up. Yes. Right now, there's no threats and all. How do you find it right now, the space? Is it big enough for you to swing your cat?
Absolutely. Actually, we are very lucky. Cam and the crew that was there before, they're the ones who really paved the way. And I think the new media, the internet, has really changed how people react and respond to our cartoons. I mean, before someone thinks of coming after me personally, there's already the court of public opinion out there, and they've made their comments, and you know, the space has opened up so much that the reactions are instant. And sometimes even when I may not be able to draw a cartoon that gets published, if I post it on my social media pages, I still get reactions from the public. So a lot has changed.
A lot has changed.
And for the better, I think.
For the better. Right. We want to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we want to look specifically at some of your works, right? You know, just looking at it and then you telling us what was really actually going through your mind when you came up with this particular work. How do you come up with your judgment call? Do you liaise with the editor that this should be the big story that you should actually post, you know, on the editorial page, that is a cartoon? Or do you just look at what is happening, current affairs in the society, then you go with that big particular story, right? Does it have to be related to the editorial opinion on the editorial page? Anyway, these are questions that we need your answers on the other side of the break. And of course, we shall look blow by blow at some of your works and just relax and enjoy the beauty of your works. Don't go away. You're watching the Leadership Forum here on AM Live. And of course, today we're talking about leading by humor, celebrating our cartoonists here in the country. Yeah. So if you've never known the faces behind the cartoons, they're here. We have Samuel Muigai Iga, is a cartoonist with the Daily Nation and also with Taifa Leo. Also, we have James Kamawira Kam. He's a cartoonist with Standard and also the chairman of KATUNI East African. And we have Celestine Wairimu. She's a cartoonist with the People Daily. And also Victor Ndola, who is a cartoonist with the Star. So don't go away. You can call in, ask questions, or share your contributions from the other side of the break.
You're watching AM Live, brought to you by Standard Chartered.
Welcome back. You're watching Leadership Forum here on AM Live. It is Friday. Every Friday, Leadership Forum comes your way. And today we're celebrating our cartoonists, editorial cartoonists in this country. You know their works, but you've never known their faces. But today we put their faces behind their work or in front of their work so that you may get to know them. We have Samuel Muigai. He is a cartoonist with the Daily Nation and the Taifa Leo, popularly known as IGA. Also, we have James Kamawira, popularly known as Cam. He's a cartoonist with the Standard Limited. Also, we have the chairman of a KATUNI East African. And we have Celestine Wamiru, right? I've just baptized her Wairimo. Yes, so she clarified that for me. She's a cartoonist with the People's Daily. And we have Victor Ndula, a cartoonist with the Star. Right, we want to talk about their works, and of course, my director had put up a particular cartoon that Victor just drew some few weeks ago. Of course, everyone knows about Benson Wanjao, Elias Ojwang. And look at that. Ojwang now has golden wings. God bless his soul. And he's telling actually people who are crying that stop your crocodile tears. And we want to know about what happened to people celebrating the artists in this country. Why do we have them being celebrated posthumously? So let me just ask Victor, when we're drawing this particular cartoon, what was in your mind, your judgment call?
A bit of being upset.
Upset?
Yeah, because what helps us as cartoonists is when we're really angry, probably do the best cartoons. But I was just thinking about Mzee Ojwang, and I grew up on his satire and humor a lot when I was a young boy. And I remember a good friend of mine once said that people love art, but they don't love the artists. You know, and it's very obvious in our case in this country. We have many people who've contributed to our art in this society, and art is very important in society. And the way we treat them when in their